Hello everyone, this is Yvonne from Yvonne Ceramics. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to hand build animal planters like this one here, which is a sausage dog. I'll also show you how to use underglaze to do surface decoration after you finish building your animal planter. And this one is a very cute llama planter. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos each week. First, I've got some clay here and my dowel stick for rolling out my slab. I'm going to roll out thin slab. This is 1/4 of an inch. Now that I have rolled out my slab, I'm just using my yellow rib to smooth out the any surface wrinkles, any marks that I made while rolling out. So using my rib to smooth it out. You might see some brown marks on your clay, and that's okay. Right, afterwards, I'm going to use my ruler. I'm just going to create 2 straight edges along this slab of clay. Those out. So when you have these excess clay, don't throw it away, just put it on the side. We'll use those later for like eyes and such. And then now that we have a slab of clay here, let me just move this so you can see better. Okay, so I'm gonna start on this side. Probably will cut here. I probably want to do 2 animals here. Not sure. Yeah, I think I'll do 2 animals. I'll do 2 demonstration today. So I'll cut here, 1 here. Actually, I'll cut like at an angle because I need to roll them together. So I'm just using this as my guide, but cutting it at a 45-degree angle. Like that. And then for this, I will also cut right here. So I have beveled both ends of this slab of clay. Yeah, okay, so next I'm going to use my scoring rib to score the beveled edge, both sides. And then using my little paintbrush dipped in water and just wet the scored edge. And then roll that together. And because I know I need to press the seam together, it's very hard to press it together, especially when this is so long. So I need to have something to help me. So I'm going to put a wooden tool underneath here as a support on the inside so I can press the seam together. And then once you have pressed the seam together, you can just use your finger to smooth out this seam, like so. So while this is drying, so I have fixed the seam on the outside and on the inside as well, using my wooden tongue tool. So I'm gonna let this firm up a little bit before I do anything next. For this other slab that I did, I'm going to do the same thing and just roll them together to form a roll as well. So just doing the same thing as what I did on this one. Now I've got 2 tubes and I'm gonna start with the first one. The second one that I just sealed up, I'm gonna let it rest on the side. So for this one, I'm going to just pinch the end together like so. So pinch it together. Like so, just pinch, 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 pinch it together. And then while you're pinching, you can just move some of the clay to cover the holes. So while you're doing this, you don't want to let it rest for too long, or else it might be too dry and cracked. So right now it's still at a good stage. So now you have pinched it together. It will look something like this. It's not very nice looking, but that's okay. We're gonna fix that in a bit. The other end, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pinch it together as well. If you're having some trouble, you can use your wooden tool to help you. Then next we are going to cut a hole because this is going to be a planter. So I'm going to just get my knife here. I want my hole to be, you want to leave a little bit of room from the ends. So you can't cut too big of a hole. And also this is the reason why you want to leave it rest for a little bit for the clay to firm up a little bit, because if the clay is too soft, it will just flop and you won't be able to cut the hole. So I'm just gonna cut a smaller hole first. And then if you feel like, okay, I want a bigger hole, you can of course cut a little bit more around the edge. But it's easier to cut a smaller hole first and then adjust as you go. Okay, so now that you have cut a somewhat big hole, now we're going to work from the inside. Putting my finger on the inside here, just shaping the shape of this end. And while you're shaping, the clay might crack a little bit, and that's okay. You can just wet your finger a little bit with water and just push the clay together and smoothing that out. And then you're gonna do the same thing on this side, shaping this end as well. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have like a flat instead of a pointy end, flat end. You try to move the clay around a little bit. If you found that there's a lot of like this part of the clay is very thick, you can always just pinch off some of the clay like so, and then smooth that out, because you don't want to have a big block of clay here, because it'll be really hard to dry the clay and you don't want the clay to explode in the kiln. So you want to make sure that the clay is not too thick. It's about the right thickness as the rest of the planter. So I'm going to continue to work on that. All right, so I have fixed up the outside and the inside as well of both ends. And if you're happy with the holes that you have cut for your planter, you want to use a wet paintbrush to smooth out this edge as well so it's not sharp. Okay, so you should have something like this now. And then next you want to add the accessory. So we'll start with the head here. So remember the clay that I've asked you to put aside, so you can now get those clay. If they are a little bit drier, you can just wet it a little bit and smush it together. And then I'm gonna start with a ball. Okay, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit bigger. Let's start with something a little bit bigger, a bigger ball. So once you have your ball, I think this will be a good size. Then I'm gonna start shaping the head. I'm gonna do a little pointy first, pointy end, like so. And then this part I'm gonna push 2 thumbs in to create where the eyes would be, like that. You can make a deeper impression if you want to create where the eyes would be. And then I want to do 2 ears, so I still have my leftover slab here. I'm going to just cut out 2 ears. And the ears I want to go on like that. So I need to score the back side of those ears and then add a little bit of water and put that on. And smoothing this end onto the head. And same for here on this ear. Smoothing that in. Okay. Smoothing any wrinkle in. Okay. Now that we have a general shape of the head of the dog, we can attach the dog onto the body. Before I do that, I want to make sure it's good. So I feel like this part is still a little bit too big. I think what I'm gonna do is tap it into a good shape. Okay, and then I'm going to score this part and put a little bit of water on here, and then it should go on here like that. So you can just press it in. Actually, now that I'm having second thought, the head could be a bit too much clay on here. I'm actually going to cut it in half and dig out some clay because I don't want it to explode in the kiln. So I'm just gonna use my little scoop and scoop out some clay like so. So make sure you scoop out both sides. Okay, and then I'm just going to score again. And then just putting it back together like that. And then you can use your wooden tool dipped in water and just smoothing out that edge. All right, now that we have finished the head and attached it to the body, let's make the tail and the paws. So the sausage dog has a short pointy tail, so I'm gonna just roll it into like a small worm like such, and then one end has to be a little bit pointy, the other end make sure it's flattened like that, and then we're going to score it and then add a little bit of water and then attaching it to here. And then to reinforce it, I am going to use my small wooden tool. Just push some of the surrounding clay onto the body like that. And then afterwards, let's smooth that out. So wetting our paintbrush and smoothing that out. Okay, so that's our little tail. And then now time to add the paw. So I've got 4 paws here, all about the same size. Okay, and then I roll them into a ball, and then I'm going to flatten it. You can flatten it with your thumb and in your palm like that on the table. So just flatten it like so, and then you're going to attach them here like that. So after you flatten it, make sure you score it. And then add a little bit of water to where you scored it. And then attaching it here. And you want to have your finger inside the planter, supporting it while you press it in. And then since there's a little bit of crack here, I can use my paintbrush to just smooth that out. You can use a wooden tool as well to help you do the job. Okay, so I've got 2 paws. I'm gonna do the other ones. All right, so I am done with my first dog with the head, tail, and the little paws. I find it really helpful to add the paws in because the body was rounded on the bottom and it was rolling around a little bit. Adding the paws help it to be stable and sit properly on the desk or on a flat surface. So that's why I added the paws. So I'm gonna let this dry under wrap because there are lots of attached pieces. I want to make sure it dry really slowly so that it doesn't crack. All right, remember we had another tube here. So for this tube, we can do the exact same thing doing the dog one, but I'm gonna demonstrate a different one. So on one hand, I am going to push it together like so. Push it into the middle like so, and then I'm going to wet my wooden tool to help get these feet together. So these are going to be feet. So this is going to be a smaller planter. And because it was left out to dry a little bit, so it's becoming a little bit cracked, so I'm using my wet paintbrush to smooth out those cracks. Okay, so now I flip it to the other side and I'm going to make a giraffe. So first I am going to cut it about right here do a cut down the middle to about this much. Okay, and I'm gonna do it on this side as well. Down the middle, about this much. Make sure it's about the same. Okay, and then I'm going to also, I am actually going to cut all the way out. So cut like that. Okay. And so this part is going to be where I put the soil and the plant in. So that's why I want to leave a bit more room. If you can see, the inside is not very good, so I'm going to use my wooden tool dipped in water and smooth out the inside like so. You can see. Alright, so I have smoothed out the inside, looks pretty good, and also on the bottom as well. So now I am going to roll these edges together, because this is going to be the giraffe's neck. So I'm going to score this part. And then just putting some water. And then just pushing that edge together. Alright, so I have closed off this edge, and now make sure you smooth out the edge here so that it is not sharp. You can also at this time smooth out the inside of this seam. Just try your best. I know it can be quite challenging. Now I need to make the ears, so I am going to do a cut here and here like that, and then across, and same for here. Just do a cut and cut here and across like that. And then I am going to score these parts. And then getting some water and put over here, and then just close this part like that. My clay is a bit dry, so I'm going to need to get my fingers a bit wet with water, and then just smooth that part out. Alright, so I have fixed up the ears and closed up this part. Now I'm going to add a little nose there, so it's just a little ball, and I score the back side. Let's put a little bit of water on here and stick that on here like that. Now that I look at it, it kind of looks like a llama as well. So I'll decide how to decorate it once it's letter hard. And I think I'm going to use some underglaze to decorate it, because I need to add lots of details, and I find that underglaze is more, it's just easier for me to decorate. So I'm just using my wooden tool to help adhere the nose to the body. And I'm also going to roll a small coil. A small coil to go around the nose. Okay. Dipping my tool in water, and then I'm going to just smooth this coil around the nose. Okay, so now I am going to just let this dry on plastic for a couple days until it is leather hard, and then I will decorate it. All right, so my little sausage dog is somewhat dried, and so I'm going to start decorating it. I have this walnut brown underglaze. I'm gonna start by painting the whole dog brown, and because this is underglaze, I can paint it either at bisque or at leather hard stage or greenware stage. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I haven't bisqued the clay yet, so I'm just painting it at greenware stage. And I don't want to paint it when it's too dry because there's a lot of moisture and water content in underglaze, and if the clay is too dry and you paint it on, it could actually crack the clay by adding more water or more moisture. So I'm just gonna paint the whole thing brown first. While that is drying, I just did the first coat of brown on the dog. I'm gonna work on this. Initially I was going to use it as a giraffe, but I thought I'll actually do llama. It actually looks more like a llama. So I'm gonna start with a pink underglaze and do the ears. I'm not gonna paint the background color of this because my clay is a white stoneware clay, so it'll fire into a ivory white color, so which is perfect for llama. So I did the ears. I'm gonna do little cheeks. So this is gonna be the nose and the mouth. So I'm gonna do a little cheek here. And then I'm gonna do more details. I got also a little heart here, which I'll be doing the red underglaze with. So with underglaze, you need to put on 3 coats to get a nice vibrant color. So I also did the eyes, nose, and painted the heart red here. And I used my black underglaze to draw a line around the neck. And I'm gonna add a little decoration later, but then I thought I'll add the little carpet on the body of the llama first. So I'm gonna start by drawing a half circle. I'm going to draw a pretty big half circle. Probably a little bit bigger than that. After doing the 3 coats of blue here, I also did the decoration around the necklace. I'll do some more with green now. Just going to draw a little triangle, another layer on top of the blue here. So my dog's kind of dry. I also added a layer of brown underneath here. So now I need to paint the little paws a different color. I'm using the mustard underglaze to do that. So I'm just gonna paint the four paws with a different underglaze color. So now that the mouth, eyes, the paws are all done, let's do the final touches, which is the drawing the little paws. I have a black underglaze in a little bottle, so I'm gonna draw the dots. So that one is a little mistake. I'll correct that in a bit. draw the bit paw mark first, then the dots. And as for this one that I made the mistake, I've got some paper towel here. Try to pop that off. Actually, it might be getting worse. I am using my knife now to scrape off the black. And then once it's dry, I will have to repaint. Alright, so I fixed my paw and that's basically done. That's my dog. I drew the face as well. It's still a bit wet, so I need to handle it carefully, but I just want to quickly show you as my little sausage dog planter. I'm gonna let it completely dry and then I'll bisfire it, and then after bisfiring I'll put a clear coat of glaze on this. When I'm firing, because I did have underglaze on the bottom here, I think I might put little stilts here and then put a cookie there, just in case, because I know some underglaze, they do tend to stick onto cookies and kiln shelf. So that's what I'll do, but I think it looks really cute, this one here. And I also want to show you the little llama as well. So that's it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.